You keep wondering if you're the broken one, because a normal person would just walk away, right? A healthy person would stop calling, would stop hopping, would delete the contact, trash the old texts, move on. But you don't. And you hate yourself a little for that. So you're here, scrolling through another video at 2 in the morning, trying to figure out why you still love people who hurt you, why your chest still tightens when their name pops up, why part of you still wants to fix it, even though you've tried, even though they've made it clear they don't want to be fixed, even though some part of you knows they never will change. You're not broken, and I want to show you why. Before we go any further, I need you to know something. What you're feeling right now makes sense. It's not weakness. It's not naivety. It's not a character flaw. It's actually the most human thing in the world. Family betrayal is different from other kinds of hurt, and nobody really talks about that. When a friend betrays you, you can often walk away clean, but family is wired into your nervous system from before you even had words for it. They shaped how you see yourself, how you love, how you trust. So when they hurt you, it's not just emotional. It reaches down into the root system of who you are. And the part that nobody prepares you for, the part that actually keeps you up at night, it's not the betrayal itself. It's that you still love them anyway, and you don't know what to do with that love when there's no safe place to put it. That's what we're talking about today. Because understanding why this happens, understanding that it makes you sane, not crazy, that changes everything. There's something about family betrayal that cuts deeper than other losses. And here's why. Family members aren't people you chose. They're people who were there before you had a choice, before you had defenses, before you understood that love could be used as a weapon. When you were a kid, your parents or your siblings, they were your whole world. They literally were your world. They taught you what love looks like, what trust means, what it feels like to belong somewhere. So when that same person betrays you later, it's not just a broken promise. It rewrites the story of your childhood. It makes you question whether any of it was real. Maybe your parent was supportive sometimes, so you keep hoping that good version of them will come back. Maybe your sibling was your best friend, and now there's someone you can't talk to. Maybe your family just pretends the hurt didn't happen, and you're left holding all that pain alone. The betrayal isn't just about what they did. It's about the breaking of something that you thought was permanent, something that was supposed to matter more than anything else. That's why you can't just walk away, because walking away from family feels like walking away from yourself. Okay, so let's get to the thing that actually eats you alive. The thing you probably haven't said out loud to anyone. You still love them. And not in some abstract forgive and forget way. I mean, you still see the good in them. You still remember the times they made you laugh. You still know they're capable of kindness, even if they haven't shown you that kindness in years. You still catch yourself wanting to call them when something good happens. You still think about what they might say, how they might feel, whether they'd be proud. That's the trap, because if you didn't love them anymore, this would be easy. You'd be angry, and anger is clean. Anger has direction, but you're not angry all the time. Sometimes you're just sad, and sometimes you're hopeful, and sometimes you're both at the same time, which is a special kind of torture. So you're stuck in this impossible position. You know they've hurt you deeply. You know the relationship might be unsafe. You might even know they're not going to change, but you still love them, and loving them while also protecting yourself. That feels like a betrayal of the love itself, like you're doing something wrong by both caring and setting a boundary. You're not, but nobody ever tells you that. So you sit with that guilt alongside everything else, and you wonder if you're actually the toxic one for not just moving on. Here's a hard truth. Hope can become a prison. You know this. You've probably lived this. You wait for the text that says, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." You imagine the conversation where they finally see what they did. You picture the version of your relationship where things are actually okay. And that picture, that possibility, keeps you stuck in a place where you're half in and half out of their life. Half in because you still check in, still reach out, still remember their birthday, still explain their behavior to other people, looking for ways to make it make sense. Half out because you know they've hurt you. You know they've shown you who they are, but you're not brave enough to fully leave, so you just hover in this middle space, exhausted. The thing is, this specific kind of hope isn't actually protecting your love. It's protecting the fantasy of them. The fantasy of who they could be if they just tried harder, if they just cared enough, if circumstances were different. And as long as you're holding onto that fantasy, you can't actually see the real person in front of you. The one who hasn't changed. The one who might not be capable of change or might not want to. This isn't about giving up on them. It's about giving up on the false hope that's been keeping you stuck. Because false hope doesn't actually feel like hope. It feels like waiting. It feels like being on pause. And you've been on pause long enough. Something else happens when your family betrays you. Something quieter, but maybe more damaging. It changes how you move through the world. You stop trusting the people who are supposed to be safe, and then that distrust bleeds into other relationships. You find yourself suspicious of your partner, your friends, your boss. You start to believe that everyone's going to eventually show their true colors and hurt you, because, well, your family did. The people who loved you from the very beginning did that. So you start protecting yourself. You keep parts of yourself hidden. You don't let people all the way in. You stay ready for abandonment, which sometimes means you cause it yourself, just to prove that you were right to expect it. And here's where it gets really complicated. You might start to see yourself the way your family treated you. If someone you love hurt you without consequence or remorse, you might start to believe that you're the kind of person who deserves to be hurt, that you're too much, or not enough, or fundamentally unlovable. That belief is a lie. But it's a lie that's easy to believe when the people who shaped your earliest sense of self told you it with their actions. The point is this: the family betrayal didn't just hurt you. It changed how you see yourself and how you trust. And until you understand that, you're going to keep carrying their damage into every relationship you have. Here's what you probably haven't heard yet, and it might be what saves you. Healing doesn't require reconciliation. I know that sounds obvious, but sit with it for a second, because most of us have been sold this story that forgiveness means going back. That healing means fixing the relationship. That moving on means making peace with them in person, probably while they're still refusing to acknowledge what they did. But that's not what healing is. Healing is accepting that they are who they are, not the fantasy version of them, not the person you hope they'll become, but the actual person, with all their limitations, their damage, their inability or unwillingness to change. Accepting that this person hurt you, that they hurt you because of something inside them, not something inside you. And that accepting this doesn't mean you're forgiving what they did. It means you're releasing the power they have to keep hurting you. Sometimes healing means walking away. Sometimes it means staying in contact but keeping emotional distance. Sometimes it means accepting that you'll love them from a distance, and that's okay. That's enough. The point is, you get to decide. Not them, not anyone else. You get to decide what your relationship with this person looks like, based on what keeps you safe and whole. And if they can't accept those boundaries without punishing you, then you have your answer about who they really are. I know you came here tonight because you're tired. Tired of loving people who hurt you, tired of hopping, tired of questioning yourself, tired of that voice in your head that says maybe you're the problem. I want you to hear this. You're not the problem. You're just someone who loved the wrong people in the right way. That doesn't make you broken. That makes you human. That makes you capable of depth and resilience and a kind of love that most people never experience. But here's where it shifts. You don't have to keep proving that love by staying in a painful relationship. You don't have to keep showing up for people who don't show up for you. You don't have to wait for them to change so that you can finally be okay. You can be okay now, even while you still love them, even while you grieve what you hoped they would be. Even while you accept that some people, no matter how much you love them, just won't love you back in the way you need. That's not a failure, that's a fact. And it's one of the hardest, most important facts you'll ever have to accept. But once you do, once you stop waiting for them to make it okay, you actually get your life back. You get to stop being on pause. You get to invest your energy in people and in yourself. You get to love, but differently, wiser, safer. You still love them. That doesn't change. But your life is no longer held hostage by that love. Family betrayal is one of the deepest wounds you can carry. But it's not the wound itself that destroys you. It's the waiting. It's the hopping. It's the refusal to accept that people don't change just because you love them enough. Let go of that. Not the love. Never the love. Just the idea that your love can fix them. You've already done enough. You've already tried hard enough. You've already loved them enough. Now it's time to love yourself that much. If this landed for you, please like this video. Comment below, tell me what you're still grieving, what you're letting go of. And subscribe because we're going to keep having these hard conversations. You're not alone in this, and you deserve so much more than crumbs from people who should be feeding you.